We were live. Bloody hell, that was quick. Hello, I'm live for like 4.7 seconds if you're watching this for the first time. This is not the first live chat I've done, if you're watching this for the first time, but it's the first one I've done from the front seat of the actual test car. And so I'm sitting in the front seat of the Ford Edge today, right now, simply because there's a birthday party going on in my house. My daughter, who's turned 7 recently, is having a birthday party today, and it's like chaos. And so I'm not doing that. So I'm here. I'm here in the front seat of the car, and this thing is on the steering wheel. My phone is on the steering wheel. Now, the other thing is I had to go 2 hours early. I don't do this at 2 p.m. in GMT, but I had to go 2 hours early because at 2 o'clock my kid's birthday party is. And of course, everything has changed on the channel recently. This is not normally a regular thing, even though, hi guys, all the new guys just appeared there. This is not normally a new thing or a regular thing that I do, but every Sunday I seem to have done this now. But I don't know if I'll be able to do it next Sunday. Mondello is on, and Master Superbikes is on. Hi Gav, hi Smurf. Mondello Master Superbikes is on. You're welcome to come along to that. Hi Stephen. Footy Ferrari 4, how you doing, man? You're welcome to come along to the Master Superbike next Sunday, but I'm actually working at it, so I'm filming at it, making a movie, documentary thing, a little bit of a movie or goes with it. So that'll be a bit of crack. That's next Sunday in Mondello Park, so you can get your tickets in a moment. Master Superbikes. It's on there all year, apart from one run up to Kirkstown, I think. But I'm doing a sort of documentary on some of the guys. Laois lad, up Laois. I'm in Laois. I'm not from Laois, actually, but I live in Laois. I also have a cup, Orla Kiley. Orla Kiley, you're very good, thanks. Nice cups, really good. Hi David, this is a Q&A. I know I call it Sunday service. I listen to BBC Six Music sometimes, and there's Amanda's Sunday service now, and it's just really good. I was listening to it today. But if you've got a Q&A, you want, hi Orange what? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Orange Ginger Bliss or something. If you've got a question, go. My next car, Stephen, is a Volvo S90. Which I pick up tomorrow. But tomorrow we actually have to go along to the Alpha Giulia launch in Ireland. So I'll definitely do a video from tomorrow, but I'll do a video from the launch tomorrow of the Alpha Giulia, as well as driving the Volvo V90, sorry. S90. I can't remember. It's an S90, I think. Avensis versus Passat. Just buy a Passat. Don't worry about it. Bob, are you going to do a review on a new Civic? I'm thinking of Civic or new CHR for myself. I've driven a CHR. Really happy with that. New Civic is a little weird looking, I have to say. I will be doing a review on it. They sent me an email recently, asked me to test drive the 1 litre Civic. So I'm going to try that, but I have to find space in the calendar. That's the big problem, is finding space in the calendar for everything. Is that like there's 150 or 200 cars or something to test, and there's an awful lot to shuffle through, so a lot going on. New Kuga is very good versus the new Tiguan, and Kodiaq is a bit bigger. I quite like the Seat, what's Seat called? Ateca. I quite like that. That's good. Just heard a BMW X5, but I'm worried if I should change my engine options. You ever had a test drive one? What's your response life in the engine? All BMW engines are good. I don't really there's no real weak one. So like X5 though is a big car, so bear in mind the big cars require more horsepower, which also requires more fuel and more CO2, and bigger the car, the more the stuff that's needed to do. If you're thinking of changing to a petrol engine, change the car. The petrol engines are very good, but it's going to cost you a fortune in fuel if you change the petrol using that sort of thing. Do you know the guys at Automotive Team that worked with a few years during transition year? Yeah, I know the guys. I know all the lads in Automotive Team. I meet them most Mondays. So yeah, I do, of course. Man, that coffee's really good. Probably because it's Patrick's weekend, and it's I'm sitting in the Ford Edge just now. This was like inside. I tow a Caravan, so I ordered a 40D diesel. Good choice. I think that won a Caravan of the Year towing car or something at some point. No, don't go petrol for towing. Towing is all about torque. It's all about being able to pull a very heavy weight from absolute standstill. So that's about torque. That's how torque works. Horsepower is all about how heavy you can keep moving with. So that's the easy way to think of torquing. Torque and torque is the thing that makes you go whoa into the seat, right? And horsepower is the thing that makes you go fast. That's kind of it. You can have a high torque, very low speed truck, which is the way big trucks work. Hi Bob, are Tesla coming to Ireland soon? What is the future of electric cars in Ireland? Tesla are, yes. At least the running is going very well. I'm going for a run later on. It's just a bit miserable at the moment. Tesla are coming to Ireland. They're only coming to Ireland. In fact, they're putting 2 superchargers in, one somewhere in the Midlands and one somewhere over west, right? I did plans for 2 or 3 more. But Tesla are kind of already here. Anyone who's buying a Tesla at the moment is looking at a 100 grand car, right? Until they get the other models in. And so it's the rich bitches, but the rich bitches who are out there buying the car at the moment and bringing them down from Northern Ireland. So when Tesla get here, the support structure in Ireland, Tesla never wait for it. They don't wait for that. They just start arriving and selling cars and putting out the superchargers, and that's an end to it, whether the system is in or not. But that leaves every other manufacturer of electric cars out in the cold. Look at Nissan around the rest of them, still selling a tiny proportion of their fleet as electric cars. The only way forward in the short term is electric at the moment. The only clean, sustainable way we have is electric. If we don't embrace electric right now, we are at a point where we just like burning fossil fuel. We're just going to keep on burning it till somebody says, you know what, there's none left, I'm afraid. Only the rich people of the world can afford it. So we either got to move over and start using electric cars as our sort of go-to car for a day, or we got to start burning everything we've got and we end up on foot. So you got to make a choice. If you start using your main car as an electric car and then just use, on the weekends, use your big diesel or a big petrol or V8 Mustang or something as the fun car, then we can all share the experience of driving without really worrying about it. Just a quick word. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you click the little bell button beside the subscribe button, you will get notifications whenever this happens. You just get notifications and your voice will just come live with us straight away. And click the like button while you're here, which lets everyone else know that this has actually happened. Patrick Hickey, how are you, Bob? You're going to be press launching a new facelift VW Golf next month. I certainly will, I think. So far, I'll be at that launch. I tend to say yes to all the launches, and then at the last minute I can't go, or I'm working, or do something else. But I'm going to try my best to be there at the new Golf. Golf is a very important car. My top video ever has been a Volkswagen Golf 7, I think, 700 and something thousand hits. Also, a quick word, if you fancy sponsoring this channel, you will find me on Patreon, or you can contact me directly if you actually want to, if you're a business and you want to sponsor and have your message there, the top corner screen, or over there or somewhere. Not a car company, you're not allowed to sponsor me, sorry. I know some of you were asking, but no, car companies can't sponsor the channel because I have to review your cars, so hard luck. Currently drive 161 A6 2-litre diesel. Tend to buy the new 530e petrol. Yeah, I would be too. 530e is quite nice. Anything BMW is usually pretty good. A mini convertible, other car. Missed some of that, sorry. Great videos, keep up the great work. Thanks, Don. You're great to watch them. Make sure you share, subscribe, and like, and you know them things that everybody asks you to do. You see, you got a couple of choices, right? This is real life choices now. If you want free content, that's brilliant. Then you've got to turn off your ad blocker. It's impossible for me to get monetized by YouTube, to get paid by YouTube, if you have ad blockers on, right? So you got to turn off the ad block, or you got to watch the video with an ad. 5 seconds. I mean, just 5 seconds to click the skip. That's fine, or you got to go to Patreon and try and give money on Patreon, right? Which is great. Some people are already doing that. That's lovely. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can give me money by PayPal, or you can do something else, But you got to support channels in somewhere. I'm talking about the whole of YouTube at the moment. Is that you have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of free content. Some of it's crap. Some of it's very good. Some of it's exceptional stuff. And you think that YouTube pays everybody out there, but we don't. Bob Flav at thenextgear.com. So that's my email address. It's the same on PayPal. That'll get an email directly to me. If anybody wants to email me, feel free. bobflav at thenextgear.com. Please don't sign me up to spam. You actually get enough of that already. But if you want to donate, if you want to keep channels like this, like mine, like everyone else is going, you can't have it all for free. Eventually there comes a point where it's kind of like, well, you know what? Don't make any money from doing these jokes anymore, so what's the point? Now, it's different for me to some degree. I'm a professional journalist in that respect. I don't get paid to be a journalist like that. I get paid for YouTube. YouTube give me money, but it's not much, I'll be honest with you. And I'd love to expand the channel beyond this year. I'd love to hire in a camera person, maybe an editor as well, to make bigger, more expansive stuff. I want to do a deal with a racetrack, maybe use a racetrack once in a while. so we can make really exotic films, really unusual films. But I can't do that. You just can't go beyond where it is without investing money. It's an impossibility to continue doing it. So I've bumped up against this as much as I can do. So now it's 7 days a week I do videos. But there comes a point where you can't just bump up against it. You need help. You have to have someone in. There's only so many favours you can ask for. So subscribe is number 1. Take off your ad blocker for YouTube, which is number 2, or just for this channel if you want. Number 3, put it on Patreon. So if you look at patreon.com/nextgear, or you can PayPal me directly if you want, bobflav@thenextgear.com on PayPal, whichever one you want. Anyway, back to the questions, car questions. How did I end up with a cable? Plus I ended up with a cat the other day, and I don't own a cat. Do you watch other car YouTubers? Yes, some. I don't really get excited by horsepower numbers and things. You know, when someone sits there and goes, this car is 141 horsepower, it has a 0 to 60 time. That doesn't really excite me, to be honest with you. If somebody's passionate about cars, Chris Harris used to be good on YouTube, and then he went to Top Gear. Now he's just Top Gear. You know, he used to be good. There's a couple of not YouTubers, but there's a couple of car magazines that have YouTube channels that they're okay. Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they're presented very well, very professional, and very car stuff. But no one has passion. It's the passion for the subject that usually lacks. Is this ability to really create interaction and get me wondering about cars again. I suppose I'm surrounded by cars the whole time, so I don't really, I'm kind of biased in that respect. I just see them the whole time. Are you in a Toyota? No, it's a Ford Edge. It's the car's on this week, William. It goes back tomorrow, but because it's chaos in my house, I thought I might just do it from the car. And actually, if you ever want to record audio, cars are a great sound deadening room. Like they absorb a lot of sound because they try and keep sound out. Okay. God, you're all hungover this weekend. St. Patrick's weekend over here, so I'm sure you're all a little bit hungover from that, and so am I. Thoughts on the Citroën C5? Citroën are in a strange moment at the moment. Kuga's a lot cheaper, Colin, than Edge is like 55 grand. The Kuga's like 30 something, I think. I know the feeling, William. I'm very close. That's why this is full of coffee, and it's just hard. Citroën are in flux at the moment, I would say. They're trying to separate their DS brand from the Citroën brand. That's hard, because all we ever think of is Citroën DS, when actually DS is the brand to itself. And so because of this flux moment, they seem to be making errors, like with suspension, and they still make really incredibly beautiful cars, both interior and exterior. But I've had a few complaints about their electronic dashboard suddenly just dropping off and not working, and some other issues as well. So I'm hesitant to say about anything to do with Citroën at the moment. David, Toyota Prius, one of my favourite cars at the moment. If you do €10 to Bob on Patreon, he says in name check, I will too. Yeah, if anyone gives me €10 on Patreon, not only will I name check you in these videos or in a normal video during the week, I will also give you a direct video link to me at your choice. So just one-to-one talking to you on video, whether it be Skype or whatever. I won't advertise or publicise or put it up on YouTube, nothing. You can, but I won't. So that's just €10 a month, right? I mean, name check on this. Anyone who wants to do something on Patreon, just hit it up there on Patreon. So, where was I? What was I talking about before I said Patreon there? Oh, yeah. Prius is one of my favourite cars this year. Last year as well. Really enjoyed the Prius. It does an awful lot of stuff right. Some things are wrong. Okay, the looks are a little bit, but I can get over the looks because it does like 70 miles per gallon and it's hybrid until we get a full electric network and until electric cars go a bit further. Nissan are on the way with a longer range electric car. I still have to wait and see how long of a range that is. No, I'm not letting the kids in the car. I come out here a bit of peace and quiet because my head's in bits on Patrick weekend. M5 or RS6? M5, I would say, Stephen. More fun at lower speeds. M3 is actually the most fun you can have at lower speeds by country miles. But RS6 is very good if you're on an Autobahn, want to travel at 2,000 million mile an hour and at like hyperspace backwards. Yeah, M5. Go for an M5 if you can. I actually saw beautifully stealth 2006 M5 the other day. Beautiful, completely badged. The only way you'd know is the 4 exhaust on the back of it. It's like going to mass on Sunday. Yeah, I know. I don't go to mass. I'm not a religious person at all. But yeah, I know. You have to go to mass on Sundays. You come and watch Bob's videos. Now, next week, don't forget, next week I'm probably going to be at the Masters Superbike Championship, so I probably won't be able to do a live video next week. But I'll do one on Saturday if I can instead. Just try C64 AMG. Do you know what, Mercedes Ireland? If anyone from Mercedes Ireland is watching this, could you please bring an old AMG into Ireland? Seriously, you're the only car company who doesn't bring the heavy gear stuff. You know, Audi and BMW do it all the time. Bring in a good one. M6 Grand Coupe, yeah, William, you're on that. Thoughts on PSA taking over Opel? That's going to be a difficult one. If it ends up as being a monopoly of French, German-centric cars, because it is Peugeot Citroën, then the problem will be it'll be like a monopoly, so it'll change. But the swap of tech is pretty good. That's only Kenko, just normal Kenko coffee, Stephen. It's like there, look, it's not a Kenko. Just, I don't know, not mild roast, rich roast or something, Kenko. Does the sunroof in the Edge rob much headroom? Seems to be a common complaint in many cars. It does bring the thing down a little bit, small bit, to have a glass roof. I prefer not to have glass roof. I know it sounds like a pin in a hole, but I prefer not to have glass roof because it's very glary most of the time. It just adds great light today for camera work, but other than that, it's kind of crap. Peugeot 508, Skoda Kodiaq. I have not driven either of them yet. They're both just launched in Ireland. Actually, I'm not even sure the Kodiaq is launched in Ireland yet. Soon as they get on the press fleet, I will definitely go for it. CHR, yes or now? Yes. I don't know what now is, but CHR, yes. I do like CHR. It's one of my favourite cars this year that I've driven so far. See, Toyota's on a bit of a run at the moment. Very sensible. I've driven the 1.2, I've driven the hybrid, but only in a very limited sense. Hybrid is the way to go if you've got short range stuff. 1.2, if you're over long range, CHR is out for me, I'm afraid, in Ireland, because no diesel version. Best value for money in a car that's under 30 grand. 30 grand is a lot of money. I know it may not seem like I'm sitting in a 53 grand car, right? It may not seem like a lot of money, but it is a lot of money. 30 grand to drop on a car is good. I would probably hop in around A4, Audi A4 would be quite nice, but you're not going to get a Quattro one. And a BMW 3 Series would be around 38, is it? 37, something like that. They're over. You're going to have to build up your money to get that kind of end of the market, but under 30 grand, what can we think of under 30 grand? Some of the Kia stuff is quite nice. Have you thought about reviewing more luxury specialist car like Aston Martins? I don't sell many people over. I'd love to review some more of those cars, but they're not for sale in Ireland. Hence, they are not on the press fleets of Ireland. So it's pretty hard. Darren, come on, my Sunday service. I might just call it Team at Sunday service from now on, but Aston Martin, Ferrari, Lamborghini, all these other cars, you have to travel to them, right? And for the likes of Ferrari and Lamborghini, they have to invite you, right, to go and do it. Do I drive motorbikes? No, I don't. I love motorbikes. I do love looking at them and seeing them and stuff, but I've never really had a hankering to ride them. All of it did years ago, for sure. I don't think I have it on my license anymore, but I learned to ride motorbikes. I just haven't done it in 20 years. More, maybe. Good few years around today now. It's a bit early, you see, for the Americans. Opinion on the new 5 Series. Haven't driven it yet, Stephen. It has to be remarkable to do anything good, because the last one was fairly remarkable as it was, but a little bit boring. Thoughts on a Lexus GS? Lexus is like a stealth company, hangs underneath. Nobody really pays attention to Lexus until they come around and do something good. Lexus are actually pretty good. You have to be into the old hybrid stuff, though. That's the only problem, which is a bit of an awkward one. We need a moderator. Seems like make money like me needs a kick in the ass. Report that. There you go. Now you report it. What are you thinking of the new Volvo XC90? Gorgeous but boring. Honda Civic. Haven't driven a Honda Civic yet. It's 1 litre Honda Civic. Keep it in offer, but I'll see what comes up. What would be a good used car for a good price? Well, see, the problem of used cars is that each car is individually different. So, like my car I bought brand new, 2006, 11 years old now. I know every inch of the thing, so when I go to sell it, I can be confident how the car will survive. If I was on the 4th or 5th owner of that car, you don't know what way it's been treated up to that point. So, bit of a problem. Like solid, reliable used cars, all about history, guys. All about checking the history, getting to know the owner. Do they seem interested? Hi, Aaron. Do they seem like good people? Do they seem like people who drive a car that have young people? There's a young teenagers in the house going to drive the car up the wall and make sure everything's done properly. So if the car is good, it's going to survive. If the car isn't good, it's not going to survive. There's no unreliable second-hand car, really. So, you just got to watch your back when you're buying stuff. The Edge is, I think, a 2-litre diesel. God, you know what? I didn't even look, William. I think it is it's definitely a diesel anyway. And it's a power shift box. I have to say, the power shift has become my favourite gearbox when it comes to automatic gearbox. It's so smooth and quiet and just gets on with the job. And still manages to be reasonably economical, even though it's an automatic. It'd be this or DSG for me. I'm wondering why the windows aren't misty. Usually when you sit in a car with the engine off, you just find it... Chris Harris was my favourite automotive YouTuber. He's gone to Top Gear though. Why have the Irish afraid of going back to petrol? Because petrol is the spawn of the devil. They're a bit weird about it in Ireland. I know, diesel. You need no diesel car. Do you like fishing, or do you go? I don't go fishing. No, I do. I like fishing. I don't mind it. Do you find saloon or estates? Estates a better value because there's more room in them, but saloons tend to look prettier. Let's go to Octavia VRS diesel. I missed that. Hold on, go back there a second now. What do you think the Volvo V60 Sport Polestar for travelling car? Yeah, if you want to pick up plenty of penalty points and spend a fortune on fuel, Skoda Octavia VRS diesel versus Ford Focus ST. Which one would you choose? If you'd have said Focus RS, I would have said RS definitely, but because it says ST, I'd go with the Skoda Octavia VRS because it's going to be better value for money later on as well. A more desirable car, looks great stealthy looking thing. If you can buy it in a state, I would definitely buy the Octavia RS, VRS, RS, whichever one you call it. Oisin, do you like fishing? Or where do you like to do it in Ireland? I don't fish, so I don't know. Wherever there's fish, I suppose, in the sea. Aaron continues to ask that perfect question of why is the Irish afraid of petrols. We just are, just the way it is. What do you think of Infinity? I know Infinity, yeah, I know, they don't seem to want to get moving in England. They've been English people have been stung too often with some weird people who come in and start selling cars and then just vanish overnight because they're running out of money, or turn into a Chinese company as well. Octavia VRS or Golf GTI? VRS probably, Stephen. GTI is due for a facelift soon, so I wouldn't go there. Favourite hot hatch? That's a tough one. Hot hatches are really hard because hot hatches are really fun. Wait till the model refreshes. There'll be a load of models coming back out very soon which will refresh that market of hot hatches again, and hopefully Renault will do something interesting with them again. Mixes, you're speaking in Russian on my screen, so I don't know what that says. What car would you recommend? What car would you recommend? It's very roomy but also pretty quick and under €25,000. You're going to have to go second hand if you want quick, roomy and under €25,000. That's always a difficult part. Really is. See, have the crack mixless. That's all you just come here. If you want to call names and stuff, you're going to end up being banned. It's easy. Julia reviewing away soon. Do you saw it up in Fiat in Dublin when you were picking up one for you? Yes, there is. I am testing the Alfa Romeo Giulia tomorrow. The launch of it is tomorrow. The review I'll have, the proper car for review for the week, I'll have in a few weeks' time. I don't know exactly when, but the launch is tomorrow. So hopefully they'll pull that Cloverleaf one out for the launch, although that doesn't tend to end well when they bring out Cloverleafs at normal launches. It tends to end up in a flurry of penalty points or cars in hedges. But hopefully they'll bring something. New GTI next month, or Go Mad, or Go R. R's good crack. The R four-wheel drive really does give you the best feeling on the road. I really do like the Golf R. What's the best hot hatchback you've ever driven? Ford Focus RS. RS? Is it RS? What's the fastest Ford Focus? That one. Brilliant. You need diesel for the cheap tax. Not anymore, Sean, because the petrol cars have come down in price and they've come down in tax as well. So it's not really cheap tax. I know how you feel though, Sean. Best electric car you've ever driven. Leaf is behind the Renault range. Best electric car I've ever driven was the BMW i3. Just the feeling of the thing is really, really good. It's a lovely car to be in. It was hybrid as well. You can put a little motorbike engine in the boot if you really want to do the hybrid thing, or you can have it as an all electric. And plus, the dashboards are made out of donkey jackets, which are quite cool. It's all recycled material. The whole i range goes through the whole recycled end of things. Sorry, I'm drinking a cup of coffee here as well. of an Orla Kiley cup. Not very pretty, a very nice design. I quite like Orla Kiley stuff. What's the best all-around car you've driven? The Skoda Octavia VRS Estate, I would say. It's everything. It can be fast, it can be slow, it can be big, it can be small. If someone gave me 100 grand to spend on a car, what would I buy? 100,000 euro. And I know this is going to seem really bad, but doesn't give you a lot of car in Ireland. It'll give you just scrape in. It wouldn't actually. A Range Rover Vogue probably is over 100 grand. So, God, it's very close. I don't know. 100 grand's not enough. Give me a million. Need more. If you want to give me 100 grand, I'll make you videos about cars that you just only dream about. Yeah, I think it is over 100. I think it's 120,000. How many times have been asked? I've chat millions of times. I never get sick. There's no such thing as a stupid question or another question that's been repeated. There's only stupid answers. And that's really all there is. Yeah, that's right. They are, Stephen. I think about 140,000 euro, 120, 140 gets a Range Rover Vogue, a Range Rover Discovery. Something in that range of stuff is where you want to be for 100 grand. I think you want something really good. Electric cars are not zero emissions because electricity is produced from fossil fuels like coal. Yes, but we'll never change that. The thing is, we produce more CO2 from fossil fuels all over the world, but until we start demanding that fuels start to be made from something else like hydrogen or like renewable resources, we are never going to see the change. We need a change in the fuels that we use so we can all, yes, we need solar, we need wind, we need hydroelectric, we need whatever it takes that takes the pressure off the fossil fuels. We need to get away from fossils. We don't want to burn dinosaurs anymore. We need to start burning useful stuff so we can keep our dinosaur-powered cars in tip-top condition. I would say electric cars would be a success, not when they can be recharged quickly, but when we can get further in them. So once we get to about 500 kilometers in an electric car on one charge, that's the end of petrol cars. Skoda Superb or Audi A6? Audi A6. Superb is really good, but you're always going to be explaining that brand. And don't get me wrong, I love Skoda, but you never have to explain an Audi. Have you moved into engagement levels? Yes, I have. Everything's going that way, which is quite nice. More people are watching videos. The take is going up. The general overall take, people, more and more people are signing in and watching the odd videos. The ones that are 4 or 5 days old now are getting as many hits as the ones that would have been 2 or 3 weeks old. So yes, I'm very happy with the amount of people who are coming onto the channel. New users also good as well. Elon Musk will be the answer to electric cars. I don't agree with that, Stephen. I don't think he will be. I think he's I think he's very good at PR and he'll get there in the end, but he's not necessarily the answer to all of it. If you had to replace a Seat, what would you buy next? I tell you what I'd buy. A Seat Me or a Skoda Citigo. One of those little tiny, those little tiny 5-door cars. That'd be plenty room for my family. More Alpha stuff. George Falls. Hi, George. Hope you're feeling better, man. I know you aren't feeling well greatly. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to the launch of the Alpha Giulia. So definitely tune in tomorrow. New video then. Go away, you. Lots of people don't have a driveway of their own and have to park on the road. There's no way for them to charge the car overnight. These are the things we got to get over as well. These are the small things. The same thing was said when petrol cars came about. There was no petrol stations. What do you do? How do we get from A to B with a petrol car when you know petrol station to put them in? But you know what? Petrol station started. Boom, and away to go. Musk is the answer to the battery. Recycling is the answer to the electric cars' problems. We all have to embrace the whole recycling little thing. The Up, yes, the VW Up, I quite like it as well. The other daily looks. Ordered a Tiguan TDI, best in your reviews. If it's a dog, I'll blame you. Great videos, keep going. Thanks, Stuart. I hope it works out for you. Tiguan is one of my favourite little cars. Really pretty. I saw one. There's one here in Portlaoise. It's a white one with these lovely alloys. It looks like something out of a concept. It's really, really pretty. Do you think BMW manual gearboxes are good? There's a lot of discussion about this. No, don't ever buy a BMW manual gearbox unless you buy something that's like 20 years old. Then don't buy an auto, for God's sake. What do you think of the Peugeot 3008? I think to buy one. Hold off. Getting great reviews, but Peugeot tends to do that. Peugeot tends to come out of the blocks with absolutely caning reviews, and then something happens along the way that doesn't seem to work out for them. I'm not too sure why. Storage was always an issue in Peugeots for me. Cabin storage, I don't know, but little cubby holes, usually in the 508. But 3008 was my favourite car that they ever had. Looks incredibly good, I have to admit. It really does look the part. But whether it has the substance to take on cars like this or take on other stuff, then I'm not too sure. So hold tough. I'll ring Peugeot tomorrow sometime and see if I can get a 3008 rapidly, because I know you guys were really interested. Oh my God. I'm starting to wake up now. Paddy's weekend. It's very hard to be Irish on Paddy's weekend. I had a 508 SW, the best car I've ever owned. Look, I've no problem with the car. 508 SW is a gorgeous looking car, really, really good. The problem is cabin storage. You've nowhere to put your phone, you've nowhere to put a bottle of water, nowhere to put anything in it. Thoughts on Lancia? Please bring Lancia to this country. Don't rebrand them as Chrysler, will you? Just bring Lancias. Real Lancias. I like Lancias. Always like Lancias. They're weird. Just weird. New Ibiza, Fabia or Polo? I'd buy the Fabia, but Ibiza will be slightly cheaper. Depends on your budget, really. They're all basically the same car. When my dad bought an F10, he opened the boot and said it's too small. He'd be okay. He should be worried about the statement. I don't know what that means. Is he okay? An F10? What's an F10? I used to watch all your vids, but then slowed down because you went to work for a newspaper. Are you back properly now? I am Orange Oblins, whatever. Have you been evicted? Yeah, there's a kids' party on in my house. I just got out here. And anyway, it's a really good place to do broadcasting from a car. I am back. Yes, I am back. I'm back 7 days a week with videos at the moment. The amount of growth on the channel has been brilliant. It's kind of exploding now. I wasn't expecting that, but it really is. Boom, off she goes. Irish win over England. Yes, we did. We won the rugby yesterday. It was a good match, actually. It was really good. Congratulations to England on actually winning out to the tournament. But well done, the old Irish there, for keeping that going. You need more subs. Correct, William. You too can sub on this channel. Give us a subscribe, and if you click the little bell beside the subscribe, you'll get a notification so you won't miss any of these live feeds, because tomorrow it is Alpha Julia Day. And then it'll be Volvo S90 for the week, which is the weekly drive. So I'll be making the daily videos about them. We're all here for the crack now, because this is what happens. You end up being blocked when you come up with some stupid words like that. That doesn't make any sense. There you go. I see he's been deleted by Bob Flavin. Goodbye. Very well. Range Rover Evoque, 4-star NCAP rating. That's not good. John, let me give you something. Let me just put something into your head for a minute about NCAP. Now, this is going to be... sit down and think about this for a second. So when an NCAP car is crashed, right? This is the only system we've got in Europe, but when an NCAP car is crashed, a test dummy sits perfectly straight in the car, right? And they crash it, and then they kind of base it on that, and then they have to buy another car and crash that again. Now, if you drive your car like this, like I see young lads doing, when you crash, you're going to hit the side of the steering wheel, so you're dead anyway. It makes no difference how many stars the car has. If you're not sitting properly in exactly the same position as the crash test dummy is, you're never going to get it. The pedestrian one is the same thing, and I noticed that someone like Volkswagen, who bring in and advertise having a 5-star car, but they don't put as standard certain safety equipment on the car. And our VRT and tax system in this country penalises people for picking safety equipment over optional extras. So I can have dual zone climate control, but I can pay less tax on the car if I take out, I don't know, certain kinds of active city safe stop systems. So really saying something has 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever amount of stars you're talking about is only a baseline. If you're not driving properly at the correct speed, properly seated and properly belted, and the kids aren't in proper seatbelts, it's all ends anyway. Look, I tell you, this car has airbags in the seatbelts in the back. It does. They're huge as well. But yeah, well, that star is a different thing. So how the car, how it's worked from the outside is a different story entirely. I have to block people here, sorry again. How the car is hit pedestrian outside is, again, it's still only a baseline. It still depends on the speed you hit them at, what they're wearing, whether they're standing upright, lying down. There's all kinds of variables that are brought into as well. The Aventus, I believe, well, I'm only hearing sort of in the background. They don't like to tell you that things are going away, but the Aventus may go away, because the Aventus has been falling in sales forever. Not necessarily in this country, but in Ireland we tend to like saloons. There's a good shout out for you. Limerick Cars and Coffee on the 2nd of April. Win a spin in a Bugatti Veyron. Worth a mention. €10 a ticket. So check that out. In Limerick Cars and Coffee on the 2nd of April, you can have a spin in a Bugatti Veyron. £10 a ticket. I'll take a ticket to that. Probably never want it. New Megane GT16. I had the Megane last week, I think. GT1. It's quite nice, yeah, it was alright. Yeah, Stephen. See, Limerick now. Get down there. quick. New Avensis in 2018. Yeah, we'll see how much of a push they put on the new car when it comes out, but let's see what Toyota does. You never know. You just never know with cars companies. You get this idea that they're going, and then they're back again. Nick Ferranti. Who's Nick Ferranti? Oh, you're Nick Ferranti. Sorry, Nick Ferranti. Look at one for a replacement the same size. There's Nick. He just got rid of a Vauxhall Insignia CDTI 160. Looking for a replacement the same size, more sporty. Any ideas? The Insignia wasn't very reliable. Budget 15 to 20k. Whoa, is that in pounds? You have a lot of choice out there. Martin, will you feck off, will you? What is wrong with people? Do you know there's people that sit at home and just do nothing bar try and flood channels like this? Why? What's the point? You just get banned. It's not getting you anything. If you want subscribers, just ask for subscribers. Everybody can read it. Like, we're all just here for the crack, boys. This is just the crack, like. Pounds. We get very few bad things on my channel, which is quite nice. Which car company do you have to review the most annoying to deal with? None of them are really annoying to deal with. You just, well, not at my level. I don't know. Starting out again now, I'm doing it 7-8 years or something now. So if I had to start now, it could get a little risky. But you know, because I have a built following around me, I'm okay. So none of them are really annoying to deal with usually. What's my favourite car brand? Don't really know. Whichever one I like. Whatever I'm in at the moment is usually what I like most. How about Ford Mustang 2-star? That's not how you sit. I know, John, which is very disappointing. But you know what? At the other end of the scale, if you look at something like a Ferrari, they're not even tested. No one knows what kind of stars they get. No one has a clue because the NCAP have to buy the car to crash it. And NCAP can't afford to buy Ferraris or anything else. And anyway, Ferraris won't supply them. So they could have no stars. We just don't know. Cars I hate. Nissan Titas, one on the top of my head I can think of. Is it possible to bring the vlogs back there? But I've been doing a couple of vlogs, but it's just because I'm doing daily content, it's kind of morphing into some bits of vlog and a little bit of car review as well. So, a bit of both. When is the new old Octavia review you talked about last Sunday? Filming that. We are filming that soon. Might be this coming week or the week after we're filming it. So whenever they put it out. Be out soon enough, yeah. The crumple zones are your face in a Ferrari. Correct, right there is the crumple zones of most Ferraris. What about the Nissan Juke? I try not to think of it, David. Nissan Juke is a nice, fashionable accessory for young people or a retirement plan for older people. The people in the middle, the people who have families and kids and stuff, they don't really work. Very small boot, very small back seat. It's been a while since I've driven one now, but I still have memories of how weak the steering was. And Nissan don't do that kind of thing very well. It depends. If it's spec'd up prop, the Duke isn't that bad. What do you think of the new Top Gear? It's kind of rubbish. Nobody's watching, which is it's a bit ropey here and there. Some of the stuff that they do, very forced humour in the new Top Gear. I really wish to talk to the script writers. Or lads, you know, if you watch this sort of thing, phone me. I'll come and give you advice on how to do Top Gear properly. Is VW California still your dream car? Yep, absolutely, 100%. Love the California. Just does everything I want to do. There's the 100 grand car now. I think the Grand Tour, childish, really, really childish, but still has the kind of humour that goes with it, the kind of stuff you expect. Some of it was absolutely cringy, and other parts are really, really funny. Like the celebrities dying every week, that's cringy. But the other bits, some of it's been hilarious. 640D is like an ordinary car I'd buy in the morning as well, yeah. Very entertaining with him, yeah. Thoughts of SsangYong? I try not to think of them as much as I can at the moment. They will come along to be absolutely brilliant someday, but right now, this moment, SsangYong are the crap. They've got a couple of cars that are okay, but the rest is a bit stupid. What you cook in the family? Well, it's a birthday party today at Rob's, so I don't know what we're cooking actually, to be honest with you. I'm sure we'll find something to cook soon enough. Sub to me and I'll sum back, says Twinnies Bull. I can't sub. I'm doing a live stream. I'm in the middle of a live stream. I'm trying to defend the channel and everything. Will you be reviewing your own Leon instead of you? Yes, I will. As soon as I can fit it into the week, I will, certainly. What miles are on my Leon? 120,000 kilometres or something? Less than 100,000 miles, and the time belt's already done. A4 all-road TDI 16. All-road is a little bit odd. It's slightly elevated and it has that plastic on the outside. Quite nice. I prefer the all-road A6 though. Do you think the Toyota will bring the 2-litre CHR to Ireland? No, I doubt it. What is your favourite everyday car? whatever I'm in. I drive the press cars mostly. A6 bi-turbo. Oh, I love the A6 bi-turbo. You will never, ever, ever in your life get sick of an A6 bi-turbo noise when you start up in the morning and drive off, and it makes that grumble. It just makes the hairs on your gentleman's vegetables stand up. It's lovely. What's my day job? This. Well, I actually am a digital manager as well. So I do look after a radio station. I look after a few other places as well. I look after their Facebooks, their Twitters, their all that sort of stuff, and do tweeting for them. And I do a lot of that. But mostly I review cars, which would be the main thing that I do. We need to protest against VRT. It's absolutely criminal. It is, Adam. I've been saying it for years and nobody wants to know. And I'll tell you why no one wants to know. Because the car dealerships don't care because they don't pay it. Can I? No, you can't. Don't be stupid, Venom. Silly. God. Disgusting people you are. Relax. St. Patrick's Day big where you are. This is Ireland. St. Patrick's Day is like a normal day here. No, it's not. St. Patrick's Day is a big day here, yeah. I've actually got a video. If you look back a couple of days, there's a video of the parade that happened up the town here. Which is better sounding diesel, A640D or A630? It doesn't matter. As long, you could blindfold me, put me in the passenger seat and press the accelerator pedal on either one of them and I'd be happy. Please, what is your opinion on BMW X3 diesel drive or old Volvo XC60 D4? XC60 is like driving butter. I mean, really driving butter. Just goes long. The old engine particularly. Really nice. So I picked that over the X3. BMW still haven't got the X lines of car right yet. They still have, their saloons are much better. Looking at the headrest in the car in now, and leather looks very cheap on the screen. How does it feel? Feels alright to me. It is a little bit cheaper though. I mean, it's not like full leather. These are half leather seats. So that's, this bit here is cloth and that bit there is leather. But it's not like real leather, you know, like the top grade leather stuff. Is your all revved up show on Miller's Monetary on? Yeah, it is on. Yeah, I don't know when it's on next. Sinead sorts that out. Sinead, the producer of the show, she tells me when it's on. I couldn't tell you when it's on next. Someone else phones me and goes, "You're on tomorrow," and that's what happens. New X3 coming out soon. Yep. Is the Mitsubishi Lancer on sale in Ireland? I don't know if I think the Lancer is. Yeah, Mitsubishi Ireland are heavily underfunded and don't really have a lot of money for this sort of thing. So I don't know how they stand on doing cars. I've had a few Mitsubishis, but not very many. Honest opinion, the Audi RS3 Saloon. I don't do a lot about it. It seems like a perfect car. RS3 Saloon, or 3 Series Saloon, is absolute, or not 3 Series, the A3 Saloon is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm really, really happy with that car. So RS3 Saloon is going to be a hoot from start to finish. Merc GLE 350D. Mercedes, I tend to like the E-Class or the C-Class. The kind of standard stuff that Mercedes do. The GLs and all that stuff, I'm not really happy with them. They do something funny with suspension. Do Ford still have adjustable steering strength as it was in 2004? No, no steering strength in this one, just one steering method. Fastest car you've ever driven? Driven a Veyron. Bugatti Veyron, not a video, but that would be probably the fastest car. I don't know after that. AdBlue. Is AdBlue a con to sell dirty diesel engine VW cars? No, John. It was actually invented by Citroen, I believe, invented AdBlue. So you have a DPF, which is called a diesel particulate filter. It runs underneath the car. What it does is catch the heavy parts of what comes out of a diesel engine. That's the bit that causes cancer, right? And so that's all caught by a DPF. And the idea is that you take the DPF, you take the car out on the motorway somewhere, and you can get it up to speed, up to heat, and it burns that extra bit on the car itself. Now, what AdBlue does is it adds urine basically to urea to the diesel, and so it burns at a lower temperature, and that way it'll burn off sooner. But none of this works unless you take it out to get it hot in the first place. Do you know what Car Wow is, and how can you save £7,000 on some cars? Sounds like a load of shite to me. Car Wow, no, it's not. Did they review cars? No, Car Wow. Just thought it was that. VW Passat all-track bi-turbo or an A4 all-road TDI. Passat all-track bi-turbo, please, would be nice. It's very much cheaper, I think. Bigger anyway than an A4 for sure. 19-year-old friend of mine has an 02 320 diesel that he lowered and ruined the ride height. Oh, he can't go over speed bumps. Yep, I see that all the time right here in Portlaoise. Guys going sideways at speed bumps because there's so many speed bumps around here. In lowered springed cars. It looks fab. It absolutely ruins the ride and usually ruins the handling as well, which is a bit of a pain in the hole. Carloco Ciao. How do you think the Fiat Spider is really worth more than MX-5? Look at small changes of suspension and engine and stuff can make a car seem vastly different, even models vastly different from the same brand of car. So Fiat have just done the right things to the car in the first place. You used to live in Dublin. You mentioned that Nissan Tiida was an awful. Could you explain why? Have you seen it, Anton, or are you actually physically blind? The Nissan Tiida is the ugliest thing I have ever seen, and it's an abomination to car design. It should never have been made. It's a website where you can buy cars, but all the cars with some money in them. If you're saving money by going to a website, why isn't everybody doing it? Think about that for a second. So if we can all save money, why aren't we all saving money by going to this Car Wow website? There's got to be a hook, a catch. Nothing in this life is ever free. Cars start at a fixed price. It is all fixed. It is all monopolized in the background. All car dealers sell it around the same price. So if one website comes along and goes, oh, I can sell cars $7,000 cheaper, why isn't everybody doing it? So check your facts and figures. There's something wrong with the car. There's something wrong with the way the car has been brought in or how it's been hoodwinked or something's happening in the background. So just bear it in mind. Honda Accord nib was never... it wasn't worth big sales over here, so just got rid of it. Saloons don't go down well in Europe generally, so I wouldn't be worried about it. They will bring back the Accord. The Accord is still for sale elsewhere, just they don't have, they don't support it very well. Remember, Honda took ages even to make a diesel engine in the first place. What do you think of the Alfa Romeo Brera? Gorgeous, very sluggish, needs a faster engine by a long way. S3 or GTI? S3, David, I think. Yeah, S3. GTI is about to refresh very shortly. What do you think about the Ford Focus ST? I would prefer an RS. ST is good. It's like RS light, but it does have a dreadful amount of torque steer and the seats aren't very comfortable. Car dealers from all over Europe, UK bid on the car you want. Well, if you can get involved in it, then if it works for you, if you can end up with a car that you want, that's fine. But, just bear it in mind. Have you experienced a power pulse in Volvos? What's a power pulse? No. If I have to ask what a power pulse is, I haven't experienced it, obviously. Recommendation of first car, something cool and cheap to ensure. I'm thinking of BMW E30. I love that as a first car, BMW E30. My first car was a Datsun Nissan Cherry with taxes of 1.3 and actually had a 1.6 litre petrol engine in it. It was a ball of crap, but I loved it. I didn't care. It was my first car. I didn't give a crap what it was. Brera 2.4 diesel with a remap, 250 brake horsepower. Amazing, says George Falls. Correct. If you remap them or you get a bigger engine, it needs the extra horsepower. And George is an expert on these things. From what I see of Car Wow, you input the type of car. There's Jonathan. See, check. Oisin, look at Jonathan Kelly's comment there. See? Power pulse is anti-lag for diesel engines. I've yet to get into a car that's a diesel engine and not have lag. Best value for money, German car. German cars and value for money don't tend to go together too well. If you're looking for second-hand stuff, then look at some of the Audis and BMWs. Pick the one that you want most. Put all of the options on you like and see if you've got enough money in your bank account to pay for it. That's the answer to that, really. Hi, Bob. What's your recommendation of BMW 320 diesel X-Drive or A4 TDI Quattro? X-Drive is a funny one. I still have yet to use it. I've had test cars with it, but actually to feel what X-Drive is doing is an odd thing. I would prefer to go with the experts, which is Quattro. I think Quattro, the real Quattro now, not that silly little shifty thing, but real Quattro stuff is a really, really good drive, particularly at a high speed. Although it does make the car a little bit more boring. Have you tried a Mini Conjumper Works? Is it fun? Yes, it is. It's madness. Absolutely madness. They're good crack. I enjoy them most of the time, but they're totally impractical for real world driving. Will remapping your car completely ruin your insurance? Depends if you tell them or not, Stephen. I know that's really bad, but depends how much information you're willing to give away. I don't know whether you'd have to check with your insurance company, to be honest with you. Do you like the 80s Fiat Uno Turbo and the 90s Fiat Punto GT? Fiat Punto, see the Punto, if you can get a yellow sporting Punto and just phone me, okay? I'd buy that. I love them. They're absolutely gorgeous. The Punto GT. Fiat Uno Turbo, yeah, good. Fiat Pando's even better if you can get one of them. If you had to drive all around Ireland and pick up any of these, what would it be? Audi RS3, Golf R, BMW M3, C63, Nissan. BMW M3, please. No question. They're as simple as that. M3, Autobox, all the beans, and I'm very, very happy then. 20 grand English to spend on a second-hand coupe. Any recommendations? If you can find some of the older Mercedes stuff, there's a lot of Mercedes stuff that's really, really good and would definitely be worth a look for 20 grand English for sure. E46 M3 is a good coupe under 20 grand. Correct, would be, but anything AMG, any of those yours tend to be driven to its death, so be careful of the history of it, okay? Current road tax in Ireland is based on CO2 car emissions. Why then electric cars, Nissan Leaf, are still taxed? Because greed, absolute greed on behalf of the Irish government. They have to be making money, because if they eliminated tax, which is what, to get electric cars going in Ireland properly, you need to open the bus lanes to electric cars to use them at all times. Free parking when they're charging. So when you charge the car, you don't pay for parking where you're standing. You do pay for charging. And they need to eliminate tax. And like that, I guarantee within 12 months, the whole of Ireland will be driving electric cars. Absolutely. Because we're just greedy. Tax, we never want to pay tax. Best manual gearbox you've used. Toyota's current one, which I think is actually a BMW one. I think the current 6-speed box that Toyota used, they actually bought it in from BMW, so it might be a BMW box. But in the Toyota CHR 6-speed box was one of the nicest little gearboxes ever. Mazda make a really good one, but they only put it in the MX-5, and I don't know why. What car do you have? What do you upgrade to? I own a Seat Leon 1.6 litre petrol that I bought brand new 11 years ago, and I probably won't be upgrading because I probably can't afford to upgrade. But if I wanted to, I'd probably go to a Seat Me or a Skoda Citigo or a VW Up or one of those kind of cars. What do you prefer, Toyota Supra Mark IV or Mazda RX-7? Oh, that's a hard one. It would have to be the RX-7, but rotary. Has to be. It's just, I know I'd have to rebuild the thing 5 times a year, but it'd still be so worth it. Rotary engines are the dogs, you know. It's really good. Just noticed a comment that said, "Will diesel be practical in Ireland due to tax?" What's happening to diesel tax? Nothing, Evan. Nothing has happened to diesel tax, but we have to get away from fossil fuels, and we're currently at like 90% ownership, 95% ownership of diesel in this country, and it's absolutely killing the environment and killing humans as well. The next person to subscribe to me will give them a shout out, I promise. Give me a shout out, brothers of the swing. What's your problem? Look at all the people watching this live stream and you're asking me for shout outs. €10 a month on Patreon, and I'll give you a shout out you'll never forget. Patreon.com/the next gear. You can give money there if you want to. You can send it to me. There's actually a super like or something on this thing, or super conversation or something. I don't know. You can give money on live chats as well. And you can send to me by PayPal if you want. BobFlav@thenextgear.com is my email address. You can email me directly with your PayPal donation if you want. In your opinion, the future will be electric or still with petrol? I hope petrol. In the short term, it'll be electric, car loco. In the long term, it's going to have to be some other fuel like hydrogen or something else that will come along that we need to fuel the rest of our cars. But the short term one has to be electric because we're running out of diesel and petrol cars. Simple as that. Diesel and petrol, not the cars. Company car choice, VW Trendline or Ford Mondeo Z-Tech? You mean a Passat Trendline? Is it a VW Passat or a Ford Mondeo? Because Mondeo is the same size as a Passat. I would go with a Passat, probably. Mondeo is very heavy. I find it very heavy. It's very sluggish and kind of, it's big, but it's very sluggish. What tires do you use on your Leon? I have, what the hell are them things called? I think I have something called Blue Response on the front, and on the back it's Continental. I got a puncture and I had to change it for a Continental tire in the back. I forget what model the Continental tire is, but it is. I prefer the Continentals. I think I like the grip it gives on the back more than I like the Blue Response on the front. Have you reviewed the Panda 4x4? I like it, but no idea. I'm with you there, Stuart. The Panda 4x4, or if you can get the Panda, there's a little fast Panda. It's like a 100 horsepower version of it. That's quite nice as well. But Panda 4x4 is a gorgeous car. I love Panda. Panda's like another car that I'd love to replace our car with. Oh man, I'm getting absolutely balls along. He did €5. Thank you very much for your subscription, Orange Goblinists. I can't pronounce your name, but thank you very much. See, look, people are giving money on Patreon. So patreon.com/the next gear, and you can give money there on Patreon if you want more of this sort of stuff. The worst car you've ever driven ever. Nissan Cube, a 2002 or something. The thing rattled. It was absolutely dreadful, York. But very practical, but dreadful. Would you buy new or get a car and get second? Would you buy a new car or get a better car? Currently, I'd probably go second hand because our car is quite old, so I'd upgrade to maybe 2008, 2009. I wouldn't go brand new, but there's a big selection of cars. If you have the budget and you want to go PCP or something, a personal contract plan, there's such a variety of cars there you can have new right now. It's unbelievable. But yeah, second hand would probably be a good way to go. What's the worst car? You forget. Not a Tita. What's the worst car you've driven in the past year? Like a car you not forget. A SsangYong Rodius. Literally last year's car. I wanted to put a paper bag over my head and drive around. Was it a Rodius? Is that the big 7-seat thing? Looks like a taxi. Yeah, that's it. It's like a bus thing. Hugely practical inside, but God, it's such a hideous car to look at. Bro, this was in my recommended. Yay, incredible gaming. Good to have you on board. Patreon.com/the next gear if you want to get something. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like button and all that sort of stuff that you're supposed to do as well. I love a typical British rainy day. It's Ireland and it's absolutely lashing rain outside right now this moment, but I'm in a lovely Ford Edge and it's not bothering me at all. Would you ever consider organising a meetup, Stephen? I would, but I'm absolutely rubbish at organising things. So if somebody wants to organise a meetup with me, then just get in touch with me, bobflav@thenextgear.com, and give me a date and I'll put it in the calendar and we'll drop along and you can invite all your friends. Volvo V60 Cross Country D4 or Audi A4 All-Road. That's a tough one. Volvo's boring. Audi All-Road is not boring, but still a little bit boring because it's all-road, obviously. Volvo has better badge snobbery. Audi has better badge credence, and people will like you more for driving Audis. So that's a hard one. I'd go Audi A4 All-Road if I had to choose. Jason asks, opinion on a Suzuki Swift 2007. Suzuki Swift is one of my all-time favourite little cars. The thing will probably go on the smell of fuel. It will probably hoover fuel off the road to be enough to get it going. It will last. The engine will last forever. You'll probably get a little bit of rust. Watch out for it around the wings. You could, as demonstrated by Top Gear, you can crash it many times and it will keep on driving. Really good car, if a little tinny, but should be good value at the moment. Does brilliant PCP deal ruined the second-hand market? Can't sell my own car for the last few months. Values dropped dramatically because everyone buys brand new. Correct. PCP has a problem in that it guarantees the future value of the car. That's good for the person who bought the brand new car. In 3 years' time, they know how much it's going to be worth. It's bad for the used car market because it sets the absolute level of that car. And correct. So let's just touch on PCP because we're touching on it right now. And Valdez makes a good point there. PCP is very like high purchase. You pay a price going in. You pay payments across 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, there's a balloon payment at the end. So bear in mind that it's just like other higher purchase agreement stuff. It is a financial agreement. You should absolutely positively take as much advice as you possibly can. It's not as simple as the dealer makes it out to be. The dealer's only interested in selling you the car. They don't want to have to deal with you with your PCP problems after that. So bear it in mind. Hi Bob, you're going to be trying the Tesla. Yeah, whenever Tesla get around to coming to this country. They've asked Tesla UK, if you're watching this Tesla UK, I know you've asked me to come over so many times to test the car. I love you for it, but I just cannot get time. Give me calendars, dates in the calendars and fly me over and stick me in a Tesla for a day and I'll make you all the videos you want. Opinion on a VW Golf GTI. I love GTI Golf. Great car. Depending on the year, don't go for Series 2. It's boring, but anything after that's pretty good. Great old cars, Golf GTIs. They're nice. They're really nice. Modern Golf GTI. Wait, there's a new one coming though. Modern Golf GTI. My friend bought one because I said it was a great car. So yeah, it's definitely worth a look. Had to put $3,500 of extras to get the wife's new Tiguan Highline up to NCAP spec. Not happy. I know, John, that's the problem. It is a problem in that they're advertising 5-star cars and the cars are actually bringing here are missing some of the safety equipment that got the car done in the first place. Paul Madden, best technology loaded car. Volvo is the one to look at for technology, without a shadow of a doubt. They load the thing into it. But Volvos aren't cheap. Audi do the best technology packs, the ones that all work together and everything will work first time out. There'll never be a delay. It will always bring up the Bluetooth system and it'll always work. So Audi do a really good system. BMW do a really good system, but it's really complicated. It's very hard to get used to. It takes a long time to get the hang of. And Mercedes have only just gotten good in the current generation with their technology packs. So whichever one you suit the most, really. Some of the PCP terms and conditions can be sneaky. Correct, PCP comes with mileage limitations. It may say you can't do more than 20,000 kilometers per year. It may say all sorts of things. That's why I say don't be fooled by the dealership going, it should be easy. Just sign this here, blah, blah, blah. No. Stop, take it easy, make sure you can afford it. Opinion on the Mazda CX-5. Mazda tends to be very good, but they tend to make very sporty cars. So even their CXs and the bigger cars tend to have a very firm ride on them. So be very careful. Take it out for a test drive on a very bumpy road. If you still like it, buy it. Have Ford launched the Ford Focus electric in Ireland yet? I was just talking about that the other day, Wizard Don. No, they haven't, but they have plans to do so. If they don't do it soon, I'm going to start writing snotty letters to them because I want to get more electric cars on the channel because I love them. And plus, I'll tell you what, here's a good channel to look out for. Bobby Llewellyn. I met Bobby once at an international launch. I can't remember what it was at now. He's a really nice guy, Bobby Llewellyn. I met him briefly. I met Chris Harris on the same one as well, and I met someone else. I can't remember. But he's got a good channel. It's called Fully Charged. That's really good. That's the one, Sam. Yeah, he's very good. See all the money he makes on Patreon? Send some of that over this direction. I make videos like he does. Being a motoring journalist, does it provide a good salary? Absolutely not. There is no salary, guaranteed salary whatsoever with a motoring journalist job. So I don't make a salary for this at all. So that's why I keep asking for Patreon or PayPal or whatever way you want. If you want to send me money so I can do more of this, so I can get other cameramen, so I can maybe pay for some diesel or petrol or something, So that's why I keep asking. Carpool was good. Carpool was one of the things that actually started me doing this as well. Carpool was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Until it became a Dave series, then it lost a little bit of its edge, but it was really good. You need merchandise, Bob. Cabs, hoodies, staff with Bob Flavin logos. I don't really have a logo, if I'm honest. If you want to design me a logo, I'd love to. Or design me a t-shirt if you want. We do have t-shirts on the Run Gear, which myself and Paddy Conn, we do running. I mean running as in, marathons and stuff. We do have t-shirts on that there by Flux Athletic, which is an Irish company. VW PCP, 15,000 kilometers per year or 6 cents per mile after that. Correct, John. You see, that's why you got to watch those terms and conditions. Anything that sounds too good to be true usually is. So if you're signing up to something where a big payment has to be made, then there's payments across the centre, then there's balloon payments at the end, and you're restricted by mileage, and you're told how much it's going to be when you're trading it in, and you're told what your next car is going to be. Can be a wonderful experience. Some people don't want to think. They don't want to think. They just want to pay money and get the car that they want, and that's it. Other people want to think about where the car is going to be in 5 or 6 years or 7 years or 8 years or whatever, and they want to hold on to it. I'm a big fan of shopping around. I don't think you should just sign blindly up with PCP whenever you think. If that's what you can afford, great, but you have to be able to afford it in 5 years. You have to afford it 3 years that you can afford the balloon payments. Any advice on buying an approved 640D Grand Coupe? Just buy it, Niall. Don't worry. There's no advice. Just you'll love it. You'll adore it. Just make sure it's spec'd the way you want it to be because it is an approved used version of it. Just make sure the good spec is there. Okay. I'm an Aussie. What's this? Well, Chris. G'day, mates. Hello. How are you doing? Ciao from Rome. Hello, Rome. Angelo has come on as well. So we're having a live chat about cars or about anything you want to talk about. We're talking about all sorts of crap, not just cars, but a lot of it's cars as well. The Ford Boot Eater. What's the Ford Boot Eater? I don't know what that means. But which is better looking, Audi A6 Estate or Volvo V90 Estate? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder on that one. Whichever one you like the most. Look, I prefer the Volvo design, because I like that Swedish design, which is why I've got so much IKEA crap in my house, I'm sure. But Audi do really, really beautiful when it gets to the S-line models. Are people in Ireland worried that Brexit will hurt the Irish economy? There is no doubt in my mind that Brexit is going to murder this economy if somebody doesn't keep an eye on it very, very carefully. We are, by the way, England, we are your biggest customer. We buy into this country tons of English product. But we are also England's biggest customer, so we ship almost everything back out of here through England. So that's a problem. I want to get a van or a truck and convert it to a tiny house. Thoughts? How tiny? Are we talking about like toy house? A van. I tell you what you do. The best thing you can do is buy a caravan, which is already a house on wheels. Take the wheels off it and turn that into a tiny house. Much better. Normal Audis are boring. Correct. Two-wheel drive, standard manual gearbox, sales rep spec Audis are boring. But then so are BMWs, but just slightly less boring because they're rear-wheel drive. PCP is 75% of a new car market in Ireland. That is correct, Adam. Unfortunately, a lot of people are signing up to PCP. We could be heading towards a PCP bubble, like the housing bubble, where there's just so much money flooding the market into the car market that we end up hurting ourselves in the long run. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, because most of the financial loaning is happening from outside the country. In other words, Volkswagen Bank, which is a German bank, is loading into us. But Volkswagen just got hit with a $6 billion suit and they're still loaning money. So it must have money to print somewhere. William is in the middle of that one. William, take Guinness for an example. Trades, I mean. Guinness is a trade. Buy a new car now before the final Brexit implosion. No doubt prices are going to be up. Prices are already going up. So, yeah, if you're going to buy one now. What you're choosing, a Skoda Kodiaq TDI or Mercedes-Benz, BMW X3, Skoda Kodiaq, but you'll always have to worry about explaining the brand or why you bought a Skoda. That's always the problem with any of these brands is you bought a Skoda, and you go, yeah, Skoda are a good brand. Why are Skoda a good brand? Instead of just going, I bought a BMW X3. Ends the conversation right there. How big is the Irish market? How many new cars are sold per year? You're probably going to laugh, but it'd be less than 100,000 cars per year over the whole year. Night, Chris is in Australia, and go to bed. Over the whole year, brand new cars will be at our highest ever. I think we sold 200,000 cars a year at the peak of the Celtic Tiger times, and I think our lowest has been 80,000 or something. So something like that per year. So we're like 0.1% of the European market in Ireland. We're a tiny car economy, but yet we love the car, and yet the car in Ireland makes more money for the Irish government than any other industry in Ireland by miles. Is Skoda selling into the US? No, not currently, but I did make a video last year, I think. I test drove the only Skoda Superb in America. An Irish man got a job over there and brought a brand new Skoda Superb over there, so I test drove a Skoda Superb in Washington DC, which was quite nice. It was a great old journey. I had a beard back then. I don't have a beard anymore. Got rid of the beard. Made me look ancient. But there was plans before Volkswagen did their problems. There was plans for Skoda to go over to America, but I don't know if that's going to happen now. Could Brexit cause us to move to left-hand drive? Wouldn't that be brilliant, John? Look up. Was it Switzerland or someone changed from left to right-hand drive in or right to left-hand drive in one day? You should try. It's the best laugh I ever had was watching the photographs of that as chaos it caused on the street. But can you imagine doing it over here? No, we won't. I doubt we'll change. It's very hard to change. We'll have to do it over weeks. During the Celtic Tiger, we all had 3-litre petrols. Now we have 1.8 diesels. That's because that wasn't the Celtic Tiger. That was the Green Party. Don't ever forget, that was the Green Party who did that in 2008. When they got a little bit of power, they changed over to CO2, despite me sending letters and emails and everything, going, hold on a second, don't change, do this, don't be stupid. And now look at us. Now it's just stupid. It was Sweden, that's right, all in one night. That's right, literally overnight, it just went boom, from left to right. And they did it all in one go, and they've been that way ever since. And it worked for them. So, yeah, we could do it here, but it would be chaos, without doubt. Can you imagine going down the N7 motorway on the other side of the road? Skoda in Germany is quite expensive. Skoda in Ireland is quite expensive as well. You pay for high-level Superb around €45,000 and covered in plastic. Correct, yeah. Well, if you spec up a Skoda over here, you'll reach 60 grand like that. Is VW blocking Skoda in the USA? No, just Volkswagen doesn't have enough money to get Skoda into the USA. It's very to build up a dealer network. You got to start building up trust and make a desire for it. Then you got to put people out there and you got to explain what a Skoda is. I stood in the streets of Washington going, "This is a Skoda." I never heard of a Skoda. What's that? So, wait now. It's the first banner I've had to do for ages. God, it's been so nice. Thank you. Mid-Chumry. No, you can't. I'm not going to get the strip off. You stop. What are you on about? Who wants to see me naked? No one. I guarantee it. Y2000 Pug 406 Estate HDI. Invest time, sweat and tears in fixing a lemon or pass it on to scrappers. Depends how much work you got to do. 406 Estate's really nice. HDI though, that's pretty old now. You're talking about a 16-year-old car, so probably a lot of work to do on that, including timing belts and all the major service parts and ball joints and maybe even suspension or the bushings or something underneath. So, you gotta go. You gotta do a lot of stuff to it. If you're willing to put in the effort, I'm willing to look at the results of it for sure. Sir Flavin, who you support in 2017 F1? Go Ferrari, go. I don't watch F1, thankfully. F1 lost me. They changed the rules again now. So no one knows what they're doing anymore. Would you sell your current car and buy a new car but a little bad car, or keep the current car? I can't afford to change the car, so I'm going to keep the current car. Simple as that. It's easier that way. I would change if I had enough money to change. I'd change the car, but sure, what do I need it for? I have loads of cars. Would there be much saving in getting an A5 for export to the UK? You mean importing one to Ireland from the UK, Damien? It's not that you save money. It'll probably be about the same price by the time that you pay for all the bits and pieces extra, but you might get a little better specs. So you might get leather seats where there were no leather seats. You might get an automatic where there would have been a manual, so it'll be about the same price, but you probably get a slightly better spec. And maybe even better looked after, because Irish people are very bad looking after cars, as Sarah's. You said that Brexit affects Ireland and the car market. Could you explain why? Because everything we have, this car I am sitting in right now came through England to get here. Everything, if you ring up, you're a supplier. I used to be a purchase manager once upon a time. You ring up any supplier in Europe and you go, I'm in Ireland, and they go, is that the UK? That's all they think about. We are, as trading partners, Ireland and the UK is the same. So it's going to drive up the prices of cars coming into this country. It's going to get harder and harder and harder. Have you ever considered buying a project car? I can't afford the car I've got to be driving now, tax insurance thing. I can't think of how much a project car is going to be. But I'd love to have a project. I have a garage. I could love to have a project car, yeah. Are you going to miss the birthday party with your family, this superb live video? Not if I'm in Melbourne. No, John. It hasn't started yet, John. I'm trying to avoid little bits of it. I let it go in for the blowing out of the candles part. The rest is like, oh. 4 years ago, start of March, Meath, Reg 660, same year, same day, 2021. Huh? I don't understand that second part. What do you think of the new 3008? I haven't driven it yet, so I don't know. NCT, your opinion. NCT was a necessary evil. Everybody was driving junk heaps that had no tyres, no brakes, no nothing. These days, it's nothing more than a catch penny. The things that they fail on is just miserable. Another point about NCT as well is they fail you on imbalance in the suspension. But if the suspension is broken on the front, so both of them are broken and not leaking, as long as they're balanced, you still pass, even if the suspension is crap. Who was the mother of the man who made this car? What? Who was the mother of the man who made this car? I don't know. Henry Ford, his mother, whoever's. This car I'm sitting in is Henry Ford. Self-driving cars. How can the Irish insurance companies make money off these? Could be like the Dun and Bite scheme. Self-driving cars are on the way, guys. There's no way of stopping self-driving cars, and I, for one, cannot wait for the robot overlords to come and start driving cars for me. No new buying in Ireland and bringing it to the UK. No, you're buying in Ireland and going to bring it to the UK. That's an export. You can claim back the VRT on an exported car. I don't know the value of doing that. Cars are generally cheaper in the UK to begin with, so I don't know about exporting it to, unless it's something exotic, something unusual, but I don't think so. Buying a new car in June, given the government warning on diesel, would you buy? Where does the government warning on diesel come from? Does a government warning on diesel? What do you mean that it'll kill you? Diesel was always going to kill you, whether the government warned about you now or not. Would you buy a diesel or a petrol at 12,000 miles a year? 12,000 miles is around about 20,000 kilometres. You're on the borderline of how profitable diesel and petrol is, one or the other. So if you take two cars, both at 20 grand, so both, actually no, one's petrol, one's diesel. So when you buy a diesel car, it's usually about 2 to 3 grand more expensive than a petrol version of it. Jeep Renegade's a very good car. I have one in Tesla in a wee while actually. It's usually about 2 grand more expensive for the diesel to begin with. When you service a diesel car, it's usually €400 to €500 versus the petrol version, which would be like 99 quid. So everything is a little bit more expensive for diesel, including short journeys. So the more short journeys you do, the more diesel it's going to use versus petrol cars. Petrol cars tend to do much better in town situations for driving. Electric cars or hybrid cars do even better when short journey stuff. So if you can decide what you're going to do with petrol versus diesel, you're on that borderline of 20,000 kilometers per year, 12,000 miles or so. You're on the perfect border, but you're borderline going back towards the petrol. So I would go towards the petrol if at all possible. I'd love to do Let's Plays. Well, not Let's Plays. I'd love to do game reviews. Let's Play it drives me nuts sometimes because they give away the whole game. But I'd love to do some game reviews. I need a new computer to do that. Again, you can go to patreon.com/thenextgear and submit your Patreon there. You can send me money by PayPal. You just go Bob Flavin at thenextgear.com and you'll find me on PayPal there as well and submit money that way. Any sponsorship you can give, no matter how small, no matter how big, whatever you can give me would be brilliant. If you want to sponsor it, if you're a business and you want to sponsor the channel, get in touch with me as well. bobflav@thenextgear.com. Get in touch with me and we'll talk about sponsorship and maybe sponsoring some of the videos and things, but not car companies. You're not allowed. Tire companies are okay, but not car companies. What is your opinion on Dacia? Dacia is really good. If your budget can only withstand buying a Dacia, then that's fine. Okay, there's nothing disrespectful. It's a new car. If you're coming out of something that's 2006, 2008 into a brand new 2017 Dacia Duster or something, or a Sandero, which I quite like the Sanderos, they're good, honest cars, but they're not luxury. They're not special. You won't sit at home willing yourself to go door to drive your Dacia. It's not going to happen. Okay, so let's be realistic. They're a budget brand car and it works. Stephen Carney says, I'm 19. I have to say, getting insurance on my car is the biggest pain in the ass. It is for everyone at the moment, Stephen, not just you. I know people who are driving for 7 to 10 years and their insurance is doubled overnight. It seems to be a problem that nobody wants to deal with. Insurance companies are absolutely ripping off the Irish public, and the Irish government doesn't seem to give a toss one way or the other. So you're not alone, but you need to protest against your local politician. You need to be ringing your local politician every single day and badgering the guy into doing something for you, because there's no way that anything's going to change unless we make the politicians make that change. Diesel and petrol changeover is about 31,500 kilometers under Irish fuel prices. Yes, it's somewhere between 20,000 and 30,000. If you're doing 20,000 kilometers but all on the motorway, you should still be in a diesel. If you're doing 30-odd thousand kilometers all on the motorway, you should still be in a diesel. So the diesel has its own own drawbacks. But if you're stuck in a town, city, Dublin, Cork, Galway, whatever it is, and you're driving 20,000 kilometers through that kind of traffic, petrol's the way to go. Real question: 2.5 hour commute up a date back to Dublin every day, diesel or hybrid? 2.5 hours is going to be diesel. Nihib. You're using it. 980. Nihib 980. Real question. So 2.5 hour commute up and down to Dublin every day. Diesel is the only way to go, really. I know you get stuck at the other end of the N7 or the N8 or whatever it is, in a bit of petrol or in a bit of traffic. But for the big part where you're going 120, 130, accelerating and going down, it's diesel. It's the way to go. How do you feel about Vauxhall Opel OPC VXR? Have you ever driven them before? I've driven a whole lot of them. VXR is really good, but the problem is Opel has never had enough money to invest to make those cars good. So when the VXR comes out, or when the fast version of the Opels and Vauxhall comes out, it tends to be the old engine that they put in, the old generation. So they need a bit of in it. Maybe Peugeot Citroën will give them a little bit of extra cash from the French government to go and make some fast cars that we know and actually enjoy. Are you Irish? Yes. Do you know the origin of the symbol of the island of Man? Isle of Man. Yes, I know. The Isle of Man is like out there, across the water. And we go out there because there's no speed limits. It was a copy from the Sicily by the Celts. We are brothers in blood. Yes, we are. You're right between the two of us. You're like the middle between England and Ireland. Look up where the Isle of Man is. It's a fun place to go. Went out there once on a helicopter. That was a long time ago. A guy flew me out there in a helicopter. We drove around for the day in very fast cars on closed roads. It was so good. Passat are superb. Superb is bigger than a Passat by a considerable distance, particularly in the back seat and the boot, but not in the front. So in the driver's seat, the Passat and the Superb are the same size. So unless you have the need for a bigger boot or a bigger estate version of it, then I'd go with the Passat. But Superb will be that much cheaper to buy in the first place. Are we going for the record, boys? 78 minutes, and there's still 87 of you watching right now, this very moment. Don't forget to click the thumbs up. You You can subscribe here. Make sure you subscribe, because that's how you get to know what is happening at any one time. If you click the little bell beside the subscribe button, there's a tiny little bell there, click that, and you get a little notification whenever I go live like this, whenever. Test drive the VW California T6 in the future. Yes, there's a new California on the go right now. There's people currently testing it in Norway. When that gets back into Ireland, I'll be testing it this year, and I'll give you a different video every day of that on this channel, without a doubt. You can also go to patreon.com/the next gear and give me money to make these videos, because these cost a bloody fortune. Like going for 79 minutes, that's just chewing through data. Someone's going to send me a massive big bill soon, and I don't get paid for this. So send me money on Patreon, or you can do it by PayPal, bobflav@thenextgear.com, or you can just put a check in the post, whatever, I don't mind. And if you're a business and you want to sponsor these videos, so as long as you're not a car company, because I like to review the cars, I like to do that a little bit independently, but as long as you're not a car company, get in touch. I have sponsorship packages. I think I might start selling now soon, because I'm doing this 7 years, guys. Sooner or later I have to expand, so I keep bumping up against the point of being able to expand, and I need a cameraman, I need a guy standing aside the road and filming the car driving by, I need a track, I need a closed area, cars are getting faster, so there's changes afoot, and I have to do them, and I can't do them without money. And you as viewers, I don't want you, I love you guys, but I don't want you guys necessarily to pay for everything. So I'm trying. Yeah, I'd love to expand, but it costs a fortune, William. I need to upgrade the computer, I need to upgrade some of my camera stuff. I've been very clever about how I used cameras in the video so far, but there's only so much, so far of a point I can do that, until eventually I have to make a decision which way it's going to go, one way or the other. So if you guys give me enough money to expand, I'll certainly expand without a shadow of a doubt. But if I can get that from sponsorship, great. If I can get it from both, even better, so I can get a little bit of both on both sides. The new Opel Insignia is not bad. I've had some complaints about Opel recently. I'm not too sure whether I should be commenting on that. Some of them are kind of hearsay, but Opel still have a bit of work to do. It's an investment level. It's still too complicated of layout in the centre console and things, so it's a little bit funny in that respect. Do you ever try to market your videos to gain a larger audience? If do, what social media sites do you use? Me and my friend are currently doing that with our channel. That's a difficult one, Stephen. I do put some stuff on Facebook. They tend to rob the videos I put up there, so you don't get them monetized anyway. I use Twitter from time to time. I use Snapchat as well. I'm on Snapchat as Bob Flavin, if you look me up there as well. I don't know what the answer is. The answer is that YouTubers cannot sustain videos going out all of the time and not making any money. So you got to turn off your ad blockers, so YouTube will pay us more money, because currently about 15% of all views on YouTube, and this is for everybody, but about 15% of the videos are actually monetized. Think about that for a second. So if you have 1 million hits, 15, whatever that works out to be, 15,000 people actually paid for the 1 million people to watch it. And it's the same price. So take that down on a smaller scale, like my channel, where you got 5,000 and 6,000 hits at a go, and only 15% of them actually give any money. And I'm not talking about money. All you have to do is watch an ad for 5 seconds. Just turn off the ad blocker and watch an ad for 5 seconds, and just whitelist YouTube, and it solves all the problems straight away. Or you can give money on Patreon, like I'm asking for, or like PayPal, or whatever way you can give money. It'll be brilliant. Anyway, back to the car questions. Thoughts on a new 5 Series versus Mercedes? I've yet to drive it, Andy. I'm waiting for the 5 Series. It is booked in. It's coming soon. The problem is I don't have enough weeks in the year to get all of the cars in, and I want to give it a good go over. So, looking to get a new 7-seater SUV next year. In your opinion, which is the best out there? These are for Outlander, Disco Sport, Sorento, X-Trail. Sorrento will be the one that jumps out at me there. Disco's going to be fair. Disco Sport is okay, but it's not on the reasonably priced list. Skoda Kodiaq is also 7 seats, but the problem is, for most of those 7-seat cars, they're not truly 7 seats. They're like 5 plus 2, so you can get someone in the back seat, but they need to have no legs, is usually the way it is. But Sorrento will be the one that jumps out at me out of your list there, Sean Casson. New Golf out next month in Ireland. Will you give it a go? I am booked in for the new Golf. Yes, I'll be there at the launch of it. Bob, if I became rich, I send you lots of monies, but now I have no job. I love your channel, best one. Very shortly, I will have no job as well, Carlo. That's just the way life is. I'm finished in Midlands 103 within the next like 3 weeks or so. So my job there is done. It's just I've done everything they asked to do, and it's come to the end, and that's the way usually life goes. What's your thoughts on a new Peugeot 5008? Considering if you, I love the 5008. I always have. But I always forget about it for some reason. Whenever somebody asks me about a 7-seat, I always think of something else, some other brand of car. 5008 is a really clever car. It does well in lots of respects for practicality-wise, probably the most practical car they have, but they have the 3008 as well. Have you driven the 1 litre petrol Octavia? Yes, I have. It's really good, and I will have an actual 1 litre petrol Octavia on test in a few weeks' time, but I've driven it before. It's really nice. How long have you been in Midlands 103? 9 months, something like that, 9 or 10 months. A digital manager there, got their digital following, doubled their reach, and all that sort of stuff. So I achieved everything I was supposed to do for that channel and got them launched in all ways, so that it kind of come to the end. I suppose you'd have it that way, but that's just the way it is, Andy. If anyone knows of another job going out there for digital manager, let me know. I'm available. Would you prefer Google Maps, BMW dimmer on your car navigation? Google Maps is very good. I'll tell you why Google Maps is very good, because Ireland doesn't do well in postcodes. So if I want to go to Tesco's, I'll type Tesco Portlaoise into Google Maps and it'll take me straight there. If I use the sat-nav on this car, which I don't know who makes the Ford sat-nav, and type Tesco Portlaoise, you wouldn't know where it is, because it needs to have a street name. It's looking for street names and things. George asked what car I'm in. George has... hi, George. This is the Ford Edge, the one that goes back tomorrow, and... Google Maps recognises air code now. That's correct, George, but I don't know anyone's air code. I don't even know my own air code. I couldn't tell you. And it has Newport 1.5 petrol Countryman. Very good. 1.5 petrol has been a nice little engine from Mini over the last while. It's about time. VW Atlas coming to Europe. The VW Atlas, is that going to be the new CC, the Passat CC? Yeah. It is coming, isn't it? As far as I know, the VW Atlas, I think it's coming to Ireland, actually. That looks really nice. If it's the new CC, which I think it is, that's a very, very pretty car. CC is one of my all-time favourite looking cars. Really, really nice car. You get all the benefits of the VW Passat engine and interior, but you wrap it up in a four-door kind of coupe look. VW Ayrton is the new CC. Oh yeah, that's right. Atlas is the US exclusive. Oh well, Ayrton was the one I thought we were going to get here in this country. Sorry, I'm trying to remember them all from my head. You know, it's like looking here going, the Matrix. What car is that one? Looks like a Kodiak copy, yeah. Bob, you missed my question, sorry. About Ford Z-Tech spec vis-a-vis the Golf Comfort Line spec. I can't compete in my opinion. What's your opinion? So you're asking if the Ford Z-Tech spec vis-a-vis the Golf Comfort Line spec. Depends. I don't really look at the spec. I look at whether I look out the window at the car. So I believe about 80% of happy ownership of a car is looking out the window and going, I like that car. That car is cool. I'll feel cool driving that car. So in that respect, I'd rather have the Ford Focus outside my door. But the VW Golf is still a very pretty car in the right spec. The Focus is a really pretty car in all specs. So, Bob Flav at thenextgear.com. Bob Flav, BOBFLAV at thenextgear.com is my email address for any of your queries. Now, if you send me in a question by email, it might take me a week to come back to you, because it's very hard to answer all the emails I get, and I might even read it out here online. So, especially if you give me money, then I'll definitely read it out online. Are there many petrol V8s in your country? No. V8 is very expensive to fuel and very expensive to tax. We do have Mustang out, that's currently come out this year in 5 litre V8 form in Ireland, and I don't think anyone's ever bought it. Sorry, that was for Has No Hair. My email address was there. Best driving road in Ireland. The one I'm on is the one that's the best driving road. Derek Moore says, your missus must be fierce patient. Are you ever at home? Yeah, I am at home a good bit, in fairness. But I work hard. I try and work as much as I possibly can. The more I love work, the more work loves me. So that's usually the way I kind of am. I'm ready for work anytime. Exactly like it is here in gas tax like North Korea. Gas and tax like North Korea. Yeah, it is, I know. I'm travelling for the first time to Ireland this September. We mostly drive automatics in the US. So what would you suggest renting for Irish roads when it comes to automatics? Cheaper is better. You can spec a Cub 35 guy if anyone's from a car hire company, answer that one. But you can spec automatic cars here in Ireland the whole time. If you're travelling long distances, go for something like a Ford Focus, go into that level, or Opel Astra, so you have at least 5-door hatch, you know. Oh, you're very good. Has no hair. Thank you. PayPal. He's sending me money by PayPal. See, you can send me money by PayPal. I know, it's brilliant. And I hate begging, guys, but you know, there's no way that YouTube pays enough for the amount of hits that I get on my channel, the amount of ad blockers that are on there at the moment as well. It's nearly impossible to get that kind of money. So you can give money on patreon.com/the next gear, or you can send it to me by PayPal, which is bobflav@thenextgear.com. And I will do my best to read out your name or give you a shout out or whatever you want on my channel whenever I can. But I've great plans for expansion this week, but I need like thousands to expand in the way I want to expand. The new Q7 or Range Rover, it'll always be Range Rover for me, I'm afraid. I love Range Rover Vogue. I think it's a gorgeous thing, Joe. Q7 is gorgeous, but Q7 is absolutely enormous. Have you seen the size of that thing on the road? It's really hard to drive around, but Range Rover Vogue would be, yeah, bang on. It just does everything. You know, you could drive up Everest in a Range Rover Vogue, or you could pull up at a dinner party and still be happy no matter what. Derek Malone says, go to PayPal too. Never done it before, but really enjoy your channel. Thanks, Derek. You can also do it on Patreon if you want, which you just commit to paying a fiver or a tenner a month max, right? And then it comes around to the time and it sends you a little email and you click yes, I'll pay this month, or no, I won't pay this month, or whatever it is. It's a lovely way of doing it. It means that you can support me to make more videos, and in turn I can give you more videos because I start to get money out of it somewhere that I can invest back into computer equipment, petrol, diesel, hotels, whatever it is that we need to get the job done. And I would love to hire a cameraman here quite regularly, a camera woman, to come and help me make the videos. I can edit them myself, I don't mind that, but it's very hard to get everything done. And then you're looking at kind of going, I'm doing this 7 days a week. You know, sooner or later someone's going to pay me. And more people are using ad blocks. And I use, don't get me wrong, I use an ad block myself as well, but I turn it off for YouTube because YouTube is full of YouTubers and I'm a YouTuber and I kind of have to, you know, give them some sort of credit. Write somewhere your PayPal address, I'll forget it. Yeah, get a pen and a piece of paper and write it down. I can't type on this screen because it's live streaming. Have you ever driven a Seat XEO? Yes, I have. That's an old Audi A4. That's all it is. It's the old model Audi A4 with different badges on it. And it's really nice. Really, really nice car, but very reasonably priced as well. Why are there no motorway traffic police in Ireland? I think I've seen 2 in the 3 years I've been here. We do have traffic police. We just don't have many of them. And that's the problem in Ireland. Did you have an assistant for a while, didn't you? For a very short time, William, and sporadically, myself and Leah Carroll worked together. She has a job in RTE, though. She does her own thing there, too. But for sporadically, we worked with Leah. But it's very hard to tie it up. On a commitment level, you kind of go, well, you know, how much can I pay? You have to pay people for their time. You can't just ask people to give up their afternoons, their weekends, their Sundays the whole time. So it's very, very difficult to... Sid MacDonald, thank you very much. I just got an email there a second ago from Sid MacDonald who said he just gave me money on PayPal. You're very nice, Sid. Thank you. Will Ireland and Northern Ireland join soon? I don't know, Caelan. It looks like the governments all seem to be pushing that direction. They want Northern Ireland to be part of Ireland. I don't know how Ireland feels about that. I don't know how that will work. Northern Ireland getting away from sterling and getting into the euro, and there's a lot going on there. Maybe if Northern Ireland and Scotland got together and all formed up in Ireland, an Anglo-Irish Celtic thing, it'd be cool. If you need a cameraman, I have a brilliant cameraman in Portlaoise or a Thai. Let me know. I'll be interested. The Camera Club all have their gear. That'd be brilliant. Yeah, get them in touch with me. BobFlav@thenextgear.com. Please get them in touch. But I hate asking people to come out and do stuff for free. So wherever I can, I try and pay people. But that's what the PayPal thing is all about. That's what the Patreon thing is all about. I'd really appreciate if you put it through Patreon if you can. Not because I have any vested interest in it entirely. It's just that getting like a 10 or 15 quid or something, and PayPal take a massive cut out of that when you want to move it to a bank account, but Patreon don't do it as much. So, and plus you get reminders and I get reminders, and there's all sorts of reminders thing go out to thank you all and do stuff. So if you tip over to patreon.com, bloody hell, you're all sending money today. Thanks, Brendan Gray, you're very good. If you go over to patreon.com/the next gear, you'll see there that I've laid it out in such a way that you'll get a live video one-to-one chat with me if you give me €10 a month. We'll get monthly if I can manage to do that. We'll definitely give you a shout out wherever I can on any of the videos as being a subscriber. If you give me €10 a month, €5 a month, or $2 a month or something, and that starts you off. But if I could get, I don't know, 1,000 or 1,500 quid a month out of Patreon, I could definitely invest quite a bit of time into making you videos and doing Q&A. You know I'm hugely independent. You know I just say things off the top of my head. Often I'll get emails from car companies going, you're not supposed to talk about that. But I don't care. It makes a difference. Bought a Ford Edge last week in Belfast. Thought it was a US import. It's not. It's right here. It is just looking like a very US car. If I pay more than €10 a month, will I be excused from the one-to-one chat? If you one-to-one chat is just an offer. If you don't want to do it, it's absolutely fine. We can do these live things, whatever you want to do. Yes, if you pay me €50 a month, I will not phone you. You drive a 2006 Leon, right? Yeah, I do. Would you buy a car from new? I bought that car from new, which I'm a miser. I'm a terrible person when it comes to buying cars. I buy a car and hold on to it, just absolutely falls asunder, and then I'll buy another one. But that car's proved very, very reliably. And because I test cars all the time, it's very hard to choose what one I'm supposed to buy. What price is a new Ford Edge? A similar size price Kia Sportage, Kia Sorento. It's a Sportage size, but it's a lot more expensive. This one's like 56 grand or something. It's 53 or 56 grand. Have you ever driven that 1 litre turbo petrol Fiesta high output one? I have. They come with like a turbocharger that goes 250,000 RPM, which is interesting, but I don't know how long that would last. I will be doing a video on my Leon, William, very soon. What car does your wife, girlfriend drive? A 2006 Leon. She's my wife. I've been with the same one for the last 20 years. So yeah, it's a long time, 20 years. But she drives my Leon 99.9% of the time, and I drive the press cars. So I do drive the Leon once in a while. But I'll do a full video on the Leon when I get 10 minutes and not doing videos all the time. Love the new 124 Spider. I recently tested it. My driving has changed a lot in the last year. I'm thinking of changing my Superb. No, you're not mad. For sure, you could change to a 2-seat convertible car. As long as you don't need to carry any more than one person at a time, you'll be fine. I mean, do you carry a lot of people in the Superb? Can't you hold on to the Superb and buy the 124 as well? Can you have do you have sons? No, I don't. I have 2 daughters, Sophie and Hannah. Fastest you've ever driven on an Irish road? The speed limit, Oisin. I've never driven more than the speed limit. Hi. What was your name there? Forget that. Yarrell H. Very small on the screen. Sorry, I was very... Bog standard Ford Edge is 55k. What do you think of that standard one? No, I'm not in the standard one. This one is a power shift. It has the Sony stereo in it as well, which I think is an optional extra. It's got electric seats, half leather stuff, tons of things in it, so I'd imagine this was probably closer to the 65. Would you agree that a similar underpowered cars can be the most fun? The most fun you will ever have in a car is to get a 1 litre 3-cylinder car and try and get to 60 kilometers an hour, or 60 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour. Just do it. Just a flat out. Go from standing start, turn off the traction control, the car just roars along. It's the best crack you could ever have. Definitely have fun. You said last week in live stream you had a few speeding tickets. I have 1 speeding ticket of 3 penalty points. With a fat man in the back. Exactly, JP Delvin. With a fat man in the back. It's the best crack you can have. Is the smaller the engine is always going to be more fun. Are you able to do a review on a Skoda Octavia that had 500,000 miles? That will be a review. We are filming that next week or the week after. And we were going to do a lot of stuff. I have big plans for that video. That's going to be a very big video. That one is coming for the Skoda Octavia with 500,000 miles on it. It just passes NCT again, so that'll be really good. Would you buy another diesel? I didn't buy a diesel in the first place. I have a petrol car. It's a 1.6 petrol. Have you ever been to Armagh? I have been to Armagh. I've been all over Northern Ireland. I went there on holiday. Was it last year in California? We drove all across the top half of Northern Ireland. Brilliant. Do you make those beautiful live only on a Sunday, Sir Flavin? I do mostly on a Sunday. It probably won't be next Sunday. It might be next Saturday that I do it instead of Sunday, because I have to do... I have to give a shout out as well. The Masters Superbike Championship is on next Sunday in Mondello, and I'm making a movie about it, so I need to go there and do that, right? Why would you buy a Bogo standard Ford Edge for 55 grand when a 520 diesel or an A6 2-litre TDI costs around 50 grand? Yeah, I know. I'm not too sure where the pricing comes from, but this is very high spec. I'm 45, Minecraft girl. My birthday was last Monday. Car with the most horsepower you've ever driven? I don't know. I don't really count horsepower. I've driven things that have more than 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower and stuff, up around there. So, I can't think of any. I suppose I keep going back to the Bugatti Veyron because I've driven that, or S6. I've driven that as well. Yeah. I've driven a few Ferraris and things, which are older ones, but I don't know what the horsepower of them is. Do you think diesel should be phased out in cities or both petrol and diesels? We got to really consider what we're doing in cities. Cities are such a closed environment. It caps everything. It stops the CO2 getting off the ground. We all breathe it in all day long. So we kind of got to get rid of diesel and petrol, but at least if we get rid of diesel, it'll be a big start. Bob, would you consider a review of a high mileage used car, 100,000 miles, and see how it stacks up against new, example, an 8-year-old Mondeo versus a new, brand new one? That'd be really good, Andrew, but again, that's part of the expansion that I'm trying to do. I'd love to do twin tests. I'd love to do a Volkswagen Golf versus a Ford Focus and film the whole lot in the same day, but that requires cameraman, it requires planning and things to get together, and also requires money. That's the most important part. Is, as always, I'm not looking to make big money, but it requires money, right? So, I would be more than prepared to get that sort of stuff together and do it. But if you want, you can go to Patreon, the next gear, or you can give me a hit up on PayPal, which is paypal.com/the next gear. Do I use public transport? I don't. Ireland's pretty rubbish now on public transport. I do use the Lewis once in a while. The odd time I use Dublin bus or Galway bus when I was down there last time as well. So yeah, I do use public transport, but Ireland, public transport is rubbish. You need a new Minister for Transport, maybe me. Anything. How much do you need for a new computer? I don't know. I need something that's got enough horsepower that can record the screen and play a video game at the same time. So you're probably talking about 600 or 700 quid. I don't need a screen or a keyboard or a mouse. I have all that sort of stuff. I just need to replace the tower. And the machine I have right now is a dual core. I think I have an AMD 550 something or other. It's really old stuff. It's not able to render a video out much anymore even. So I'd say 600 or 700 quid maybe would get something even second hand. As long as I got maybe an i5 and a decent graphics card, I reckon I'd get away with it. Yeah, I have an old AMD yoke, but I have actually got an Intel dual core processor, which is like, I don't know how old it is, really old. Or if anybody has a really good computer that they can just donate, I'll take that as well. I've had a couple of offers of that as well. So if you have a serious computer, then that's great. But it needs to be something with a bit of horsepower in it, because we have to buy. No, I use a Mac for video editing, JP. I do use a MacBook Pro for video editing. They're very good at video editing. Gaming, no. But I do play games. So I was playing Day of Defeat this morning, playing a Fistful of Frags yesterday, so playing a few other games as well. I could still play as games. It's just I can't record the screen and play the game at the same time. So I want to do some sort of funny, quirky, gaming-related videos as well and do that sort of thing. So that'd be a bit of a crack. Sorry, I have to block somebody again. See, Blake. Oh, man. Mac is excellent at video editing. I use Mac quite right. Strangely, I use Creative Premiere Pro on a Mac, but if you're used to just get a MacBook Pro, yeah. Well, see, the problem is the MacBook Pro won't be able to record the video that you're making. So when you're playing a game, to see what's on the screen, you need to be able to record the screen, which uses a graphics card to do that, to record the screen, which is using the graphics card to play the video game in the first place, and then you have to add the audio to it as well. So you kind of have to balance it out as to which one you're going to be able to do, and you need a PC to do that. And so I have to upgrade the PC I have, but I need to invest in some new camera equipment as well. So you're talking about, a kind of an investment level or sponsorship level of €1,000 to get all the kit I need together, and then go. Really enjoy your watch reviews anymore. I do, yeah. People still ask me, will I do watches? It became this problem. I had to drop in and get a watch and bring the bloody watch down, and then get the watch and wear it for a while, and then film the watch and then bring it back, and became this cycle of trying to get in and out of a shop to get the watches. That was the problem more than anything. Good man, George. There's George donating his labour to build a PC for free, which is very good, George. I can build my own PC. I built the PC I've got right now. It's literally money. That's all it comes down to. My last car, 2006 Seat Leon Sport, loved the winter on all cars. It still does. Mine does do that too. That sounds like serious tech shopping. It's not really, Mike. It's just a matter of getting together the right kit to do the job. If you get the right thing to begin with, you'll be fine. Have you hit 90 minutes? It's like a movie. 103 minutes is what I'm running at right now, is what I see up on the screen. Geneva Motor Show was a total disappointment, Vauxhall Madness UK. There was absolutely nothing really to talk about. It was very predictable. We'd seen it all already on the internet, seen pictures and photographs. It was all done, so meh. It's not possible to video the PC screen. It is. If you set up a camera pointing at the video screen, but it's going to look like crap, if I'm honest. It would look rubbish. So, you need to record the actual screen. I like quality, a bit of high quality. I like best cameras, best things, best this. So, as much as you can. Do you have a project car or going to get one? If I can get through all of the stuff I'm doing right now, I'd love to do. This is a dream thing, but this would require a huge amount of investment. I'd love to make a YouTube series of putting a car back together in that sort of wheeler dealer sort of way. Go find a crap car, put it in the garage, and then every week make a video about repairing bits of it and putting stuff back on it, and sanding things off and turning it into project and trying to turn a profit on that. That would require an investment of probably 30,000-40,000 euro idea, but I'd love to do it because you have to buy the car, you have to buy the time, you have to try and get the parts, and just a lot of stuff. So, but if we did it, I think that would turn into a massive YouTube series. But I think it would be a huge thing to try and put it together in a kind of Ed China way as well. I have a few mechanics lined up who'd love to help out and do stuff. So all the ingredients are there. It's just a question of getting enough money together to do things like that. Why there's so many Audis in Ireland, it really annoys me. It's because Audi's literally selling off everything as much as they possibly can. They're really doing huge work when it comes to sales. They support a lot of jobs. They're doing well. Most disappointing car brand, most improved car brand. Most improved this year is Fiat. They seem to come on leaps and bounds. Last year was pretty disappointing for Fiat. This year seems to be getting a little bit better. Most disappointing car brand. I don't know. The ones that are top 3 or 4 are usually like Hyundai or something. It's kind of disappointing, the brand. They don't do enough with the press to make it interesting. Just go sale. 7-year warranty, get everything. A 5-year warranty, it's all that sort of stuff. Use Fraps. I know that the kit that I need. It's just I don't have the hardware to go with it. So I can play the games, but I can't record the games because the graphics card isn't good enough and the processor can't process it fast enough. So it turns out to be laggy crap. So, but I'd love to push it on a little bit like Jacksepticeye, sort of, but not top of the morning to you. See you next time. All that sort of. It's brilliant, but that's not me. But I would like a little bit of fun when it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah. Is your lay on Thursday on petrol, and does it have old tax pricing? Yes, it is old tax, so I think it's 500 quid a year or something for tax, which is ridiculous. Irish government what he has, but it's not particularly thirsty. No. New Audi Q4, Q6, and Q8 in the works. Is it possible Audi will have too many models? Audi already have too many models. In fairness, George, of the A1, A2. Have they got the A2? A1. I can't remember they used to have an A1. Anyway. A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8. And then the Q version of all that as well. So Audi has always been a crowd I've always thought of as just building a car for everybody. So if your name is John and you live in Westmeath and you have one dog and you have one child and a wife, they've got a particular car for you. That's the way Audi work. And they've always been like that, in fairness. 2010 Honda Accord versus VW Passat. Honda Accord, I'd love to get the Honda Accord, but the Passat is better. Honda will last longer, but the Passat is still better, right? We've gone 107 minutes, my battery says it's running out. That's how it works though, isn't it? This works all the time. See, what you do is you get a cable, right, and you plug it into the end of the phone there like that. Then you ask the people in Mazda to send you a little brick like this, which is actually a 550 watt or something cycle. It's really cycling. And little lights come on here like this. And you're charging. This will charge your phone about 47 times. I can't remember the last time I put that on charge. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Bob streaming on Twitch confirmed. Correct. That's the next. Once I get the computer to do it, I'll do a Twitch stream to go with it as well. Which, if you ever heard, honestly, there's people who used to come to my house to watch me play games because it's so funny. And that's no joke. Any electric car reviews? I've reviewed all electric cars, Carl. All the electric cars that are in Ireland. There's not enough electric cars. That's the big part. JP Devlin says, I remember there was just an A3, A4, A6, A8 and TT. Correct. That's now they've got everything. When I go to DIT, I always see a Porsche is either a Cayman or a Panamera. Seems to be a market for them. There is a little bit of a market for them. Porsche do okay. They do okay. I suppose they'll do better in the future, but they don't really support it in Ireland again. What's the procedure? What a procedure to insure and register a car in Ireland for the first time? Thanks. If you're importing a car into Ireland, you have to get it VRT through, which you actually go to your local NCT centre to get done these days. But you have to register with the tax office. to get tax on the car. Once that's done, you can tax insurers away all you want. There is a limit. If you're importing a car, there is a limit how long you can drive it before you have to get it changed over. So, Stuart Young says, great video yet again, sir. The local inn is calling. See you on the far side. Look after yourself, Stuart. See you later on. See you on the far side. Enjoy the local inn. Don't get too drunk. This is Patrick's weekend, remember. It was Patrick's Day the other day. This is Ireland. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. It's like free pass weekends. Any experience in remapping turbo diesels? I know many people have remapped turbo diesels. Some of them have been very, very successful. Other ones have resulted in the car blowing up. So it's most turbo diesels, when they say it's 100 horsepower, they're actually tested to 175 or 200 horsepower. But to turn it down for CO2 and turn it down and blah, blah, blah. So it can be turned up, but it can be a really risky thing. Just make sure you go by opinion. Find someone who has done it before. Actually, George Falls here, check him out. He's on his chat here somewhere. He knows his way around remapping. In your opinion, what's the best car for a 19-year-old in Ireland? The smallest possible engine is really what you're after. That seems to attract the least amount of problems. Tax, insurance, fuel costs, that sort of stuff. So like a 1 litre VW up or something. What does see you on the far side mean? I have no idea, Liam. It's something I said once in a video, and a guy commented going, that's really cool, right? Everybody has a sign-off. You just keep saying it. And so since forever, I have just continually said, I'll see you on the far side at the end of all videos, which is just a nice way of doing it. The car I'm in is a Ford Edge. It's the test car this week. Goes back tomorrow. And it's being replaced by a Volvo S90. So see you on the far side. It's just been one of those things that just came up. And just continues to come up. Can you imagine someone walking up by and seeing Bob in the car? Loads of people have walked by. I don't pay any attention whatsoever to people walking by, seriously. I don't. Okay, it's 110 minutes. We're going to have to call it quits because it's good for a little birthday party and enjoy the birthday party. When I was down in the Mustang, Filer, he said if we lose the sound of combustion engine, we lose it. Yes, I know. But we got to make sacrifices. We've got to change. We cannot continue consuming the world the way we're consuming the world. We have to accept the probability that we're going to have to change how we transport ourselves around the world. Now we transport ourselves to the shop. We're going to take more responsibility in how far away things are from us and how much comfort we have. If you watch it at a shopping centre or at a local Aldi or Lidl or something, and the car park fills up closest to the door backwards, right? Just crazy. So we got to change how we accept and how we move ourselves around. And if that means we got to give up the combustion engine, then we got to give it up, man. My Volkswagen camper review, that's the one that gets the most amount of comments. Like the number one watched video is my Volkswagen California review, which is just me climbing in and out of things. It was kind of funny. Get a logo going, what you're saying. Yeah, I should. I want to design a logo that says see you on the far side, thenextgear.com. Be kind of cool. Bog, I know, yeah. If someone's learning Irish there, I like it. I loved your video. It's so expensive. They are very expensive in Ireland, unfortunately. Right. I'm going to go to this party now, which is kicking off inside with all the kids around. Oh my God. It's a good job I took 2 Panadol before this started. I'm going to drink the rest of my coffee, which is like 2 hours. Don't forget, you can subscribe here, right? So make sure you click the subscribe button here. There's like 80 of you watching right now. This very second, there's 80 people watching. So subscribe here, right? That's the first task. Then go over as far as patreon.com/thenextgear, and you can give money to support this channel because it makes very little from when it comes to making the videos here on YouTube, because you've all got ad blockers. Not you, but everyone who watches the videos on YouTube have an ad blocker. And then there's demonetized videos as well, where it contains copyright material and all this stuff that goes on in the background. You have to manage the account and the channel and things. And I want to expand this year, so I'd absolutely love it if you donated as much or as little as you possibly can to patreon.com/thenextgear. And you can also do that by PayPal if you don't want to do the Patreon method. A couple of people have already sent me emails there with PayPal. You can send it that way as well. Bob Flav at thenextgear.com if you've got any questions. I do try and answer every single email I get. It may take some time because it's just me behind all of these videos, these 402 videos or something I put up. It's just me really behind all of that. I run the whole thing. So email me whenever you can and send on any money you can possibly do. It would be great. I'd love to expand into gaming videos and doing all that sort of stuff. And that's coming as well. So until the next time, that'll be tomorrow, by the way, for the Alpha Julia launch. Until the next time, I will see you on the far side.